We made a tool that lets you either print out a sheet to give to them or send them a PDF that effectively details what our maintenance recommendation system shows you. Man, we got to find a better name for that. That's so boring.
I think you need to start calling it SUN, S-U-N, stands for shit you need.
I actually like that a lot.
So our new SUN program, so that you can make a plan for all the shit you need on your car. Yeah, I'll patent that. All
right.
I mean, I'll license it to you, though.
Of course, and you'll get a nice royalty on it.
Perfect. Then I can retire from this podcast thing and just go live in the islands finally.
The following program features a bunch of doofuses talking about the automotive aftermarket. The stuff we or our guests may say do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of our peers, our sponsors, or any other associations we may have. There may be some spicy language in this show, so if you get your feelings hurt easily, you should probably just move along. So without further ado, here's your host, Mike Allen, with Confessions of a Shop Owner, presented by Tekmetric, the best software in the history of ever.
All right, day 2. It's about lunchtime. I think you just arrived this morning on the plane, right?
Oh, I'm very tired. Yeah.
What time did you get out of bed this morning?
Let's see here. I think I got up at 2 a.m. or so.
Where did you fly in from?
Milwaukee.
Oh, so you're coming from the east.
Yeah,
getting up early,
it was pretty
flying out
bad.
this way.
Yeah.
Do you have meetings tonight or events that you have to attend tonight?
I have meetings the rest of the day today, and then basically through the night, trying to be done around like 7 or 8 p.m., go to bed, and then I leave tomorrow morning.
Well, that's very efficient in and out. So
it's efficient,
good.
But oh my God, it's kicking my ass.
So what do you hope, like for you, when you come to an event like this, obviously you've got a very specific set of things that you want to accomplish for a surgical strike in and out of C&R AAPEX. Can you share what your goals are for your trip out here?
You know, I love meeting other vendors that are building either similar or different tech in the space, right? I think the automotive tech space in general is really cool right now. Mm-hmm. There's so many new things being built. So I love going and talking to new vendors. I like visiting some of our partners as well. Like I like getting to see you and some of the other shops we work with. That's always a good time.
Absolutely.
But it's really just setting up those partnerships and trying to say, hey, how can we put our heads together, maybe make a 1 + 1 = 3 type of situation where it's a win-win all around.
Okay. So introduce yourself. I apologize. Tell our listeners who I'm talking to.
No, it's all good. I'm Jon Cabak. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO at Detect Auto.
Okay. All right. Super. And we talked, I don't know, about 6 months ago, I think.
It's probably April.
Yeah.
March, April,
something
like
right.
that. Yeah.
6-7 months ago. And in that time frame, I mean, our listeners hear me talk about Detect Auto all the time, right? Because I talk about it every episode. And I use it very heavily for 2 of the 3 primary features.
Yep.
I love using it to make sure that we get all of the information we need or do our best at getting all the information that we need to give to our technicians, that go between from client to technician. Sometimes when I have service advisors that don't know a ton about the automotive space, they don't know the right questions to ask. So love that portion of the tool. Also love the service finder. What do you call that portion of the tool?
Call it the maintenance recommendation assistant, which sucks as a name. We got to figure out something better.
MRA. I feel like you need an abbreviation that
that doesn't suck. Yeah.
I'm sure I could find something that sounds legit until you see the abbreviation and then it's vulgar.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I can make that happen for you.
You could.
Give me a little bit. I'll work on that. And so those are the 2 features that we use the most. But you were just telling me about some new features that are on the horizon. Can you talk about those?
Yeah. The first one that we just launched maybe a week and a half ago is a partnership with BG Products, and we've effectively launched a way to incorporate a lot of their informational media into our platform. Okay. So now when you use BG, maybe in conjunction with your shop management software like Tekmetric, for example, and you have your canned jobs.
The best software.
We pull in all of that information, show the media why a customer should use this service or do this service at your shop, and we're working to get it so you can send that to them as an additional aid for your team when selling those services.
So, like for me, one of the things that I think is important is trying to reduce friction as much as possible for the customer experience. So would the tool automatically embed that BG educational information into the Tekmetric DVI?
Yeah, so how we have it set up right now is we just show it in our little side panel pop-up. So it's currently a button you click on, it shows you the information at the point of sale when you're talking to your customer. But
look, here's the deal. The automotive repair business is changing fast. New technology, new customer expectations, and new ways to run a shop. Tectonic 2026 is where you'll see what's next. It's a conference built for the whole industry with sessions to guide owners, advisors, and techs with a clear view of the road ahead. It's happening April 9 through 11 in Houston, Texas, 2026. Presented by Tekmetric, it welcomes the entire industry. Tap the link in the show notes to register and grab early bird pricing while you still can.
Look, here's the deal. I like to think that I'm pretty good at running an auto repair shop. It's what I've done for 20 plus years, but I'm not good at managing a marketing budget and all the different facets of a truly well-rounded marketing plan. There's mail, there's local advertising, there's website, there's Google AdWords, there's all the different things that go into that, and it's just not what I'm good at. So what I've chosen to do is to buy myself the time to focus on what I am good at while having someone else execute on all of those things at a way higher level than anything I could ever do. That's what turnkey auto marketing does for me. So if you feel like you could use some of that same magic, I'm going to recommend that you go to turnkeyautomarketing.com, get a free consultation, tell them that I sent you, tell them that Confessions of a Shop Owner sent you. You won't be disappointed.
We hear all the time, I want to send this to my customer. I want to actually show it to them and let them read through it or watch the video, whatever it is. So we are figuring out the best way to do that. We're hoping we can just send a link and let them click on it and look through it at their own pace. That's kind of the thought behind it.
Well, so we're already trying to use video as effectively as possible linked into our DVIs, and we're trying to use moto visuals and that kind of thing, just animated explainer videos to make it easier for the customer to feel comfortable, investing in their repairs.
Right.
And so we're, because most of our sales conversations are not happening face-to-face, they're happening over the phone.
Yep.
So we're sending them that link, and then we're calling them, and then we're having them open the link, and we go open the inspection, and we go through it with them, and we pull up each picture, and we talk about what we're seeing, make sure they understand what they're seeing, and we try to take informative pictures, with decent lighting and the right things highlighted and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's really useful to then have them just click play on a video of their vehicle that splices immediately into the explainer video from Moto Visuals. So I can see if we get to, maintenance recommendations for fluid services or BG related services, that if we just have that link right there also, so it flows naturally.
Exactly.
You got to make that happen for me, brother.
Yeah. Well, that's the thought, right? Like we work with so many shops that maybe are really mature and they know how to sell maintenance services. We also get a lot of brand new shops on who have never had a maintenance program before. And we're honestly ending up coaching them like, hey, here's how you should present this service. This is what you should do when you start using Detect Auto to build a maintenance plan with your customer. It is so challenging to have a service advisor who doesn't know anything about cars or really anything about the industry to start from scratch and understand, hey, here's why you should do this differential fluid exchange. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why should I? They can't really articulate that. And so having this informational media built in I think it's going to be a huge plus for a lot of our shops, but especially the ones that aren't super robust in their maintenance plans today.
Yeah. It's a huge area of opportunity for us is being more effective at selling maintenance items. I would say that our maintenance to repair mix is probably a little bit out of whack, and it should be, I don't know what the standard expectation is, but I feel like you'd want to be 60% plus maintenance. 70% plus maybe, but we're definitely not there.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that I see a lot too is shops that don't know how to sell maintenance will dump 15 overdue items on the customer the first time they come in, and they're like, dude, I don't want to come back. It's way too much stuff to do.
Try selling with wallet flush on the first visit, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. So how we're starting to think about it too is like, well, if you're new to this, let's roll it out in phases. Let's figure out where we want to start with the team, and this integration with BG we think is going to be such a good way to get that first phase activated where we can start coaching and hopefully have some of this informational media help with the sales process.
So that's an ongoing conversation in my business and I got the term from Todd Hayes and those guys down in Houston about kitchen sinking it.
Yep.
As a customer comes in for an oil service, their first time visit, and we give them a DVI with 17 red items and $5,000 worth of estimates, and the car's driving decently well,
Yep.
right? They come in and they get blown out of the water by this enormous estimate, and yet needs all of those things, but it's not going to break down in the immediate future for any of those things. And that is a surefire way to have them go to, Bubba, who used to work on cars down the street, who they go to church with, and he says they're ripping you off. You don't need any of that stuff,
Exactly.
right? So I get not wanting to kill that potential new customer relationship with that type of estimate, but at the same time, they really need to know about all 17 of those items or whatever it might be. So how do you strike the balance between being informative and educational and asking for the sale? And, we're trying to figure out how to make the plan.
Right.
Like, Miss Jones, I'm going to give you a full vehicle health report, and we're going to talk about a plan for you to be able to address everything that your vehicle may or may not need over the next year. And so we might go over a bunch of stuff. That doesn't mean you got to do a bunch of stuff.
Right.
I don't know what the right answer for that is, because it has to be easily repeatable across stores.
No, I was going to say, have you seen the little printout that we can generate from Detect Auto that shows you, that you can give to your customer, that shows you like, hey, here's the 5 overdue things, here's the 3 due soons, and then here's the 7 items that are good to go?
No, I haven't.
So we made a tool that lets you either print out a sheet to give to them or send them a PDF that effectively details what our maintenance recommendation system shows you. Man, we got to find a better name for that. That's so boring. But the idea behind it is we use that as like the starting point for the conversation. So we'll say, we're going to let you know, right? We have to inform the customer that they're overdue on these items. And so we use that sheet as effectively, you got 10 overdue items. We can do them all today, or we can make a plan for how we're going to knock these out over the next 6, 12, 18 months when you come back to my store for your oil service, right? Yeah. So we kind of think of starting with that printout as like a really good way to just tell the customer, here's everything that's due on your car, but let's make a plan to knock that out. We don't have to do it all today.
I think you need to start calling it SUN, S-U-N. Stands for shit you need.
I actually like that a lot.
So our new SUN program, so that you can make a plan for all the shit you need on your car.
That's so good.
So, I'll patent that.
All right.
I mean, I'll license it to you, though.
Of course, and you'll get a nice royalty on it.
Perfect. Then I can retire from this podcast thing and just go live in the islands finally.
Yeah, so, there you go.
So I would like to get your input and feedback. This is a little off subject, but everybody wants to talk about AI and how AI is revolutionizing anything and everything right now. What do you see as being the first best utilizations of AI in our space?
It's a great question. Do you guys use ChatGPT at your stores?
Extensively, yeah.
Which level of subscription do you have?
It's $19.99
like the $20 a month one?
Yeah, we're just using 4.0 or 04, whatever version that is.
Got it. This past week, or I guess really 2 weeks ago, I upgraded to the one that's $200 a month because I was like, we use a lot of AI. I got to know what like the best thing is out there. And I was blown away, honestly. This thing, I gave it some basic information that I was analyzing, like, hey, tell me what tools my customers are using well and which ones they're not, and help me build a plan to improve with all this data we've collected. And it went through its progression of thinking for 20 minutes, detailed out all the issues that we have in our business, and gave me this awesome plan that I was able to start effectively implementing. So for me, at least for the first thing I think it's going to be great at is just all these day-to-day tasks that you're like, oh man, if I only had an extra 10 hours a day that I could do all this analysis on my business and figure out what's working and what's not working, it's so good for that. So I think that's probably going to be one of the best things like owners can do is if you have like the $20 a month subscription, start asking it questions about your business. Like, it's blown me away how helpful it's been for us just peeling back that layer and looking through our data, because it takes a long time to sift through that stuff. So I think that's going to be great. Another thing that I hear a ton about is voice, right? And how you can utilize voice to answer phone calls, right? Or understand what customers are saying or even rate their sentiment when you're talking to them.
Hey, everybody. I wanted to take a minute to tell you about the coaching organization I've been involved with for, over 20 years now, Elite. Elite Worldwide, they don't give you a one-size-fits-all solution. They tailor the coaching specifically to you and your shop. They pair you with an experienced coach who is either a current or a former shop owner, and they turn strategies into actual action and accountability and results. Whether it's improving your service advisor's sales, growing your shop, growing to multiple locations, they really have you covered. They've got training for all of those things. Clients of Elite really see results, higher profits, stronger teams, a better work-life balance. If you're ready to take the next step, visit eliteworldwide.com to schedule your discovery session. That's eliteworldwide.com to start working on your business rather than in it. Tell them that you heard about them on Confessions of a Shop Owner so that I get a pat on the back or maybe a box of chocolates or something. That would be awesome. Thanks.
I think that's another big opportunity as well, especially when you have, again, newer employees who maybe aren't super up to speed on the latest and greatest or how you want to present something. Having a tool that can track, hey, here's my script I want the team to say or the process I want them to follow, and then going back and analyzing that stuff's really cool, and I think we're going to see a lot of that over the next year.
Do you think there is the potential for... I was having a conversation last night with someone at one of the after party things about I wish that I could just have the computer on the front desk listening to the interaction between the service advisor and the customer, and it can kind of write the ticket based on what it's hearing and tell the customer or tell the service advisor in real time the questions it needs to ask and the information it needs to gather, and the service advisor can just focus on building rapport because he doesn't have to be typing the details of what he's being told.
Yep.
I would love that type of personal assistant who's just there feeding the questions and taking down the notes and the answers and writing the repair order for the advisor. But I don't know if that's maybe I'm sure it's not a pipe dream, but I don't know if we're not quite there yet.
It is and it isn't, right? There's a tool out there in the software nerd land that I live in called Cluely, and it's effectively just that. You download it on your computer, and it can overlay on your screen. So, if you're doing a sales call, for example, it can tell you, represent this fact or say this information. We think the customer or the prospect would like this. We don't use it. We haven't really looked into using it, but I've heard of other tools like that. You download on the computer, and it just pops up what to say. So, even for if you think about our customer concern assistant, another terrible name, which we need to fix, that tool is really centered around what questions do you ask, but you got to type it all in, right? So it's just...
Sorry, there's a person walking by with a...
got a tub of towels.
Tub of Towels is the company, and she has a hat that is a big tub of towels.
That's kind of awesome.
I think I caused a little bit of offense with them last night. I ran into them out on Fremont Street. And I said, "Oh, you're from Bucket of Rags, right?" And evidently, Tub of Towel and Bucket of Rags is not cool. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, Tub of Towels / Bucket of Rags people.
That's awesome. Starting feuds.
Unintentional, just is what I do. So I'm just trying to think about ways that, because we're using voice to practice our scripts and to get feedback, and if you teach it your scripts or just upload your scripts to it, it'll be better at following the script than most of your guys will be, right?
100%.
The problem is that I'm seeing is the latency, is the delay.
It's slow. Yeah.
So that 3-second pause before the response, I don't care how good the response is, the 3 seconds kills it. But that latency is going to be addressed. It's only a matter of time, right?
Well, there's the latency aspect, but even if you looked at, right now all that data is hosted on servers very far away from you, and it takes time to process that. But having even some of those, as the systems improve, being able to have it on your devices or do it locally on your actual computer, it's going to make a huge difference. So I think there's a ton of opportunities to improve that process. It's just that with voice right now is the biggest thing for me, is like you said, if it takes you 3 seconds to generate a response to a customer, it's too slow. And that's the same thing we face with our tool that does the same question. We're like, we want it to be faster, but right now we're a little limited with the systems out there. So we're always thinking about how can we make this faster or better, or even like send it to the customer ahead of time, right? So you don't even have to collect that information. Just send them a text with a link. Hey, fill out these questions. We'll prompt you and ask more and collect that information ahead of the visit.
Thinking about another friction point there, sending them a survey that they need to fill out. I'm testing out some AI call agents, right? That just overflow phone answering or after hours phone answer the most common questions. It identifies itself immediately as, hey, I'm a computer, but I'm here to help with most questions. And if I can't find an answer for you, then, I'll have one of the guys call you or whatever it might be, right? I'm wondering if it could be, hey, here's a link to our, pre-service survey, or you can call this number and our AI assistant will fill it out for you. We'll walk you through it.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
So, I don't know. Because I don't want to go fill out a form on my phone because I got fat fingers and I don't text effectively, and I'd much rather just listen to myself yap. I'm trying to make a living doing it. So,
hey, that's fair enough. Yeah.
How do you use? You said that you just upgraded to the higher level OpenAI subscription.
Yep.
What are some other ways that you're using AI in your life, personally or in your business?
Well, I drive a lot in my car, and one of the big things that I frequently end up doing is I can only call my team, I can only call my wife every so often, right? And they're like, "All right, dude, I get you in the car for 6 hours. Hang up, like leave me alone." Yeah. So I will put on the voice mode and I will ask it questions about like, hey, here's a business question I have, or here's like something I'm thinking about doing. How can we improve our process this way? And it's pretty good. It's not as good as like the in-depth language you get when you use one of like the 4.0 or GPT-5 or whatever you're using now. But that's one way I like to do it a lot, is like that conversational tool. And I've also found it really good for practicing like objection handling. Like if someone comes in and I'm talking about one of our tools and they're like, well, we don't have a maintenance program today. I don't think we could use this. Well, okay, maybe the first time I had that, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, maybe not a good fit then. But that's not necessarily something I always want to leave it at, right? So I use it to practice. And I think it's been a really good tool for that as well.
For sure. We've tried to get some of our guys to embrace using it for practicing presentations and overcoming objections. And the guys who do it, oddly, are the ones who are more effective at their work, right? And the ones who are resistant to it, you can tell. So, great use case. I also am interested in back up, the higher level subscription.
Yep.
Are you seeing significantly better quality in the returns that you're getting?
Yes, but it takes a long time. Like you can use the $20 a month one and have it think for like maybe a minute. Would you say so? Is that about right? If you let it think for a little bit?
If it goes for much more than a minute, usually you get an error return.
Yeah, it's like, this is trash. You can't even use it.
Yeah.
I've had this one go for 20 plus minutes and the results are really great and it's comprehensive. So I will have it, like I said, I'll have it do a complex task for me and then I will go do something else, or like I'll make myself lunch, right? And I'll come back and the data analysis is done and now I can think about it.
So could I tell it to, trawl TikTok for the automotive aftermarket influencers and what are they talking about and what is getting the most engagement, and then make suggestions for me on the things that I need to be talking about to be relevant?
Exactly. Oof. And I had to do that again when I was looking at my business, just what are customers liking about our product. It was really insightful. Like I gave it how much people are using certain tools and what's working and what's not working. And it came back with so many good improvements that are driving a lot of these product decisions we'd make that would take me or someone else on my team probably like a full day to a week even to put together this analysis that we'd then have to review and come up with a plan on action items. But this got me started. So now we can start making decisions instead of having to figure out, well, what question are we even going to answer, right? This answers the question for you and then it tells you what to do next. So I'm a pretty big fan of it. I don't know if I recommend it for everyone unless you're like using it consistently. Because I mean, it's $200 a month and like $20 a month for that base subscription is really good.
Yeah. What about like Grok or some of the other ones that you hear a lot about? Have you toyed with any of them?
Grok's funny.
Is it?
It's pretty funny. It's a little more unhinged than OpenAI, which can be fun depending on the context. We use Grok and
Hey, it's me, Mike's kid. Want to tell us your wild shop stories? Or maybe you just think my dad's totally wrong. Call us at 704-CONFESS and leave a message. You can tell us we're awesome, or you can tell us we're idiots. We're cool either way. That's 704-CONFESS. Just don't make it too weird.
I think Google's is
Gemini.
Yeah,
We use Grok and Gemini in our product too, especially if like OpenAI is slow. We have a system that checks all three.
It's just like waterfall.
Exactly. So like OpenAI is down, then we go to this next one. We made it so when one of those services goes down, we don't want Detect Auto going down.
Yeah.
So we've made it so we can kind of pick between them.
Which one has the most downtime?
We've had the most issues with OpenAI, but I also feel like for the general use case of AI tools, it's probably been my favorite. Okay. But that's been great. I guess the other one too is like Claude from Anthropic. That one's really good for software engineering. Like our team uses that pretty heavily to write code and iterate on problems.
That's awesome. Do you think that software engineers are going away?
I think they're going to change. You know what?
It feels like low-level software engineers will be replaced, but high-level problem-solving engineers will be there. But how do you become a high-level software engineer unless you have been a low-level one for a while?
Yeah, it's really tough. Like we just did a career fair at a local university, and I was talking to a lot of students there. And there's a lot of really sharp people, but they don't necessarily know our code. They don't know how it's all written, and it's going to take them a long time to get up to speed. And now we're kind of like, we don't need to hire as many engineers because we can do more with the team we have. But on the flip side, where are we going to build this good talent base, right? I mean, it's something that shops face too. When you're trying to get good techs on the team, you got to keep the bench ready, right? So if someone leaves, you can bring someone on. You're constantly recruiting. And we're starting to run into that same thing too, where these base level software engineers, they don't have the skills they need and the system level architecture understanding to really be effective. So I don't really know the best way to address it. I think I always tell people like getting your hands dirty and building your own thing is going to be way better than like actually, I mean, the academic value is there, of course, but you need to do it to actually truly understand the business problems you're trying to solve. And I always tell people, get your hands dirty and try building something as opposed to studying it for, a year, 2 years, whatever it's going to be. Like maybe do both, but you got to try doing it yourself too.
So get back to Detect Auto real quickly. Because you've done the analysis, you just told me, what features do you find are bringing the most value to your customers?
The biggest bang for the buck we have is our maintenance tool because we're basically selling revenue. Yes, excuse me, the sun.
Shit you
need.
Shit you need, yeah.
That one provides the clearest ROI. And then closely coupled with that is our inspection assistant that just takes that data and copies it into your digital vehicle inspection. Those two get the most usage. The customer concern assistant, that one is pretty high usage as well, but I haven't found it to be as clearly ROI generating. It's more like, hey, it makes my team better, and that helps the techs when they get a car and now it has a description, right? That helps everyone, but it's hard to say, well, we saved you 10 minutes. I can't really quantify that as easily. Yeah. The one that probably gets the least usage is our gross profit per hour assistant. I think it's really popular with a subset of shops that care about that metric a lot. Yeah. And they want to optimize their business to run on it. But most shops we work with don't use that tool. And so we were kind of looking at, well, with this inspection assistant that's really popular and Sun, that's also very popular. What are we doing to couple those together and improve them? And so we've just been iterating on, like this BG partnership, right, was a great one where we found there's a gap in the way that shops present and sell maintenance today. We need to find a way to make it easier. Well, a lot of our shops use BG products today. Let's give them this direct integration to show you, here's how you can present it, especially if you're not doing a good job selling it today. So that was like one big takeaway we had from it. The other thing was we got to make sure we get shops trained up in how to use the tool faster. I think like the toughest thing with any software that I hear from shop owners is, hey, I bought it. okay, like now what? How am I going to get
Yeah,
implemented?
I get no value from this. Well,
Yeah.
are you using it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the other thing. We were like, we're doing like a whole revamp to our training process and trying to get shops to value with our product in the first day or like week. We want you to sell enough maintenance to pay for the product for the whole year. We want to provide so much value that it's such a no-brainer decision to buy it. And we're constantly improving on that mission.
Good. Awesome. Dude, I appreciate you coming down and hanging out and talking with me a little bit. And,
Yeah.
I hope that you survive your whirlwind tour.
Oh, me too. Me too.
At least you're not taking the red eye home tonight.
Nope. I get some good sleep tonight. And I will be out tomorrow and life will be
Don't
good.
you want to go out tonight and make poor choices?
No, I do not. I'm so burnt out, man. I need a good at least 6 hours of sleep. I'd be really happy with that.
And we can go be like degenerate gamblers and you can sleep on the plane back.
I've done that before coming home from Vegas, and I do not like getting sick on airplanes. I'll leave it at that. I will never do that again. I have had that experience happen twice coming out here, and it was the
0
worst.
stars. Do not recommend.
Yeah, getting sick in an airplane bathroom is one of the worst experiences of my life.
Oh,
Yeah, that's my
just
confession.
imagine a little turbulence mixed in there. You know,
No, I had my head in between my legs the whole flight back, and I don't know how I ended up on the flight. It was so bad.
that sounds like some 21-year-old shit right there.
I was 24, so yeah, that tracks.
Same
Same thing.
Same,
Yeah, exactly.
All right, good talk, man.
Yeah.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our video today. If you enjoyed this content and you'd like to see some more, you can click right here. And it would be really helpful for me if you thought that this level of mediocrity is something that could help your other friends that were shop owners or in the industry. You can click right here and subscribe. You can even set up notifications if you want. I'd love to have you on the channel.